Hi guys, as you may have seen now, I've been in the hospital last weekend or end of last week, and now I'm out of the hospital, but as you may see here, it's not the best place or the nicest place where I can make a video. Now the reason for that is that I have to stay pretty close to my car and can't go really far because of the consequences of the surgery. I'm now fine, and thank you for your nice words. It was really kind of you to ask. Now I'm all fine. It still hurts a bit, but hopefully it should get better pretty soon. Now the reason why I'm here today is to shoot, if possible, 2 or 3 videos, and the first one I'm gonna try to make before it's totally dark is one I've wanted to make for a long time, which is the knife review about the Entrek Javalina. I've talked about that knife before. You have seen me with it out in the wild, but I've lost actually my first one, and to say how fine and excellent this knife is, I've ordered one right away, just because it's such an excellent knife for outdoors and survival. And I will make a knife test as I've done my former test, following my various steps. Now I have to say something. I will not give marks from 1 to 10. I will be more simplistic in my way of giving point to those knives. So it will be like it does not the job, it does the job okay, or it does it well or excellent. So what I want to say by that is that when I make my videos and my knife tests, I want to show you how the knife performs, to give you an idea, and really in the field of the most important survival necessities that are, in my opinion, the most vital necessities that a survival knife should perform. So you make your own idea depending on what you see on the screen, and I will tell you my opinion about that, but I will not give marks. So now I'm just gonna set up my gear and begin with that knife review. So here it is, the Entrek Havalina or Javalina. This is a knife made by Entrek USA. It's all built in the USA. I have just a problem remembering the steel, but I will give you a link so that you can see the specs of that knife, or maybe I'll write the specs of that knife at the end of the video. I don't have a ruler here or anything to show you the thickness, but considering I have my Becker BK2 here, you can see the difference between the thickness of the two knives. I will try to get the focus in here, please. Okay, so here you have the difference of thickness. This is 1/4 inch, which means something like 5 millimeters or a bit more, and the Entrek is 4 or 5 millimeters too. Maybe I can try to get a measurement out of my Swiss Army knife, but no, this one doesn't have any ruler on it. So here you may have a pretty good idea of the difference in size. or a good point of comparison here. Okay, so here is the Becker BK2, and this is the Entrek. The Entrek comes with a nice micarta handle that is really comfortable to the hand, and you have also jimping here, which is extremely sharp, so it holds your thumb really well. You won't slip on that knife, and you also have 3 bolts to hold the handles. The handles are shaped like so on the scales. We see here you have 2, I don't know the name in English, but here you see you have incurvations which make this knife really comfortable to hold, and really well, it fits really well in the hand. You also have a lanyard hole on the bottom here, and overall length of this knife is, I don't really know, but see, I have standard hands. I will put the specs anyway at the end of the video. The knife comes with this Kydex sheath. I have modified it with Velcro to add tabs or a little gear and stuff like that. It's sometimes a bit hard to put it back. You have to, you know, just really push it. I think it will ease with time. It did not happen with my former Entrek knife, but it's really not a problem. And the only way of carrying that is a high carry. Here you may see, here you have the clip, which is made out of Kydex too. So now I'm gonna talk about the performances and, well, put the knife to the test, beginning with the feather sticks. Okay, I'm not going further than that. I have some big and some small feathers. Some of them are really paper thin. I have lost a bit my skills at that. I have to train a bit more, but obviously it's it does the work perfectly well. and well, it's really working. You have some really nice curls. Damn it, why do I lose focus all the time? Okay, so you see some really thin curls. They are, this one for example is paper thin. This one is a bit thicker, but this is enough to catch fire pretty easily. So and it's really sharp. If you look at that, you have this one is how it came out of the box, but my former one was really extremely sharp too. You have I don't know that kind of grind. I don't remember the name. It's if it's a full taper grind or not. No, it doesn't go to the back of the spine, but you have a secondary edge here, and I don't know if you can see that, but this knife is mirror polished, and I did not touch that up with the strop excuse me. So it's really extremely sharp, and as you see here, it's really hair popping sharp. So this knife works perfectly well for feather sticks. There's no doubt about that. I see it's a kind of convex grind. Don't know if you will see that on the video, but it's hard to do that alone. A slight convex grind. This is not my favorite kind of grind, but it does the job for the first test, which is feather sticks. Now I'm gonna try the general cutting, and we'll see that in a few seconds. Okay, now for the general cutting. I will not do that here because I don't have a piece of meat or tomato, but with the former one I did have of those Entrek Javalina, I did use it for cutting meat, potatoes, everything. I mean, general cutting, paracord and stuff like that, and it's, well, it's a really sharp knife and it does the job really well. It's just excellent, so you don't have to worry about that. And well, just general cutting, it's an excellent general cutting knife, and it has the kind of belly I really like here. And for eating, carving stuff, cutting stuff, I mean, it's just the perfect blade. And well, there's nothing more to say about that. I will now talk and try the battening with that knife. So I have here a piece of pine wood, probably, and I'm gonna test that and batten it with excuse me, with a piece of birch. Gotta keep that useful stuff. Okay, I don't think I have to show much more, but you have a pretty thick blade that has a grind that is that rise pretty high on the blade itself. This means that, as you see, this is the first time I use it, it's sandblasted and it's getting a bit worn, but this is really nice kind of marks I like on my knives. What I was saying is that when you do that kind of chores with a knife that has a thick back like that, a thick spine, but goes really on a points to a really thin edge like that, it works usually quite well, and this is no exception with that knife. For battening, it splits the wood pretty easily and pretty quickly, so I would say it does the job very well. Sorry for losing focus all the time. Now I'm gonna try to make some chopping on that piece of wood. I could take a bigger log, but it's pretty much the same now. Here, what I usually do with my knives is just add the lanyard, because I like to chop using my knife like that, and because of the handle, like so. Here you see the handle has just that kind of finger choil, if I can say, use that word for that, and you can really hold extremely well the knife just like that when chopping. So this gives more balance to the tip of the knife, which allows to have a lot of chopping power. Now let's see how it works with that piece of wood. As I've said, here it's a pretty small piece of wood, but the result is quite the same on a bigger piece, from my experience on the field. And I am not really a fan of, you know, chopping a tree just for the sake of a video review. This is the best example I can give you on a small scale. Okay, on a few strikes, here the piece of wood broke, but you can see here the kind of cuts that you can achieve with that knife. When you swing it, you can have really nice, it goes, okay, this is pretty much the depth it did. You can really achieve, here it's only one strike here. So yes, the piece was a bit small, so I didn't dare chopping too hard, but it's not a problem. I did use my former Entrek Javalina, and you can trust me on that. It works really well for chopping. You don't have to worry about that at all. And when I say you don't have to worry at all, it's really because this can do a lot of chopping work, just because you can hold it like that. You have a lot of beef on the blade itself. It's not really blade tip heavy, so when you use it that way, you add more weight to the tip, which you already know, but really you can achieve a lot of chopping with that knife. And well, here still more. So here it's okay, it's a short review and test, but with my former one you did keep a really excellent edge for a really long time. So now next point is trap making. So I'm gonna try to use those pieces of wood and try to make a small figure for trap or something like that, just to check how it performs in whittling and small works and finer works. Okay, so it's probably the worst ever figure 4 trap I've made, and it's pretty ugly, I must say, but what's important is that it works. If I can set it up here, okay. I must say I wanted to be a bit quick on that one, and okay, here the animal comes, bites the dust, well, should, oh damn it. Okay, here you are. So this was for the trap. Now next point is fire steel striking. So I'm gonna get a fire steel and test that. Right, it's a Primus fire steel. Just try to see here. Okay, we'll take that and just test on that piece of birch. I'm not worried at all. It should work just fine. Okay, see the huge amount of sparks you have. Okay, here. No worries about the fire steel striking. It's so square on the spine that you don't have to worry. And I think the sandblasted texture adds to the striking capabilities of that knife. It's really excellent, I must say, really. Okay, now for the features. I'm gonna just
lost my glasses. I'm gonna talk about those features as before, just talking about them because it's something that you really can try to show on the video. So, don't know how to put that. Okay, edge retention. Now, from my experience with my former Entrek Javalina, it was just amazing. This tool steel was really retaining an edge for a long period of time, so you did not have to resharpen it. But I'm so used to resharpening or honing it pretty often with a leather strap, because it's my favorite way of keeping a blade hair popping, that I can already say that the ease of resharpening was really excellent. No worries about that. It's a pretty hard steel. It's tempered to, if I remember well, something like 59 Rockwell or something like that. It's really hard, so maybe on the field it would be, if you don't have the right technique, a bit harder, but just strapping it when you think you need it, or just after a huge use, is maybe a good technique to keep it always hair popping. The handles are excellent. They are made of micarta, and they are really comfortable. You don't have hot spots on your hand. It's a really comfortable pair of scales, and you don't have any worries about that. Now, the sheath. Well, this is maybe the drawback I will have on that knife. The sheath has only really small rivets, so you can't use tech locks or stuff like that on it. It's really well made. I can't say the opposite, but I would have liked bigger eyelets on that knife, so that you can use tech locks, molly locks, or stuff like that, or maybe even use Chicago screws and make leather belt loop or something like that. But this is really too small. And another thing I would have maybe preferred on that sheath is some slices here, so that you can easily add a pouch or webbing through it. Well, maybe this is not necessary, this is just me. The execution of the sheath itself is excellent. Now, what is really important is the reason why I've lost my former Entrek Javalina. The former version of the Kydex sheath did have a kind of loop. It was a piece, the same piece of Kydex, that was looped back like so. I don't know if you understand what I mean by that, but it was the same piece of Kydex and it just broke here. Now I'm not sure I'm really fond of a Kydex retention clip like that. It works well, but it's maybe too slippery. When you have the knife in the sheath, you have more retention, but it remains Kydex, and I'm not really comfortable with that, so I will probably modify the sheath, because this knife deserves to have a better sheath, if I can say that, but a sheath that is really strong and tough, so that you can't lose the knife like it happened to me. So this is probably the black spot. It does the job, but it's really far from being the perfect sheath in my opinion. But the overall qualities of this knife are excellent. It's an excellent performer, and you will not be disappointed by this blade, by his features and its ease of use. It's really an excellent blade. So now I'm all done with that. You have seen the overall performances. Feather stick, it's excellent. General cutting, no worries about that. Battening, awesome. Chopping, perfect. Trap making, well, I did that pretty quickly because the sun is falling right now, and excuse me, it's falling right now, so I have to make that pretty quickly. And fire still striking, excellent. Now the only black spot is, for me, in my opinion, the sheath. But the best proof I can give you is that as soon as I've lost that knife, that very knife, I just ordered one just right away. So it's an excellent knife, it performs really well, and I'm really glad to have one in my collection, and I'm really a fan of that knife. So guys, if you have any question about the knife, just feel free to ask. I will add the link to the website so you can check the specs of the knife, and if you have any question, just ask. So guys, see you soon. Cheers.